Existence is a current that seldom pauses. Constancy is the exception, not the rule. To endure within this ever-shifting tide, one must adapt, as evolving is not just preferable, it's imperative. Wisdom lies in discerning the lessons etched by those who came before, for it is through their experiences that one gains a vantage point over the present. True progress is achieved when you absorb the proven foundations of the past, weave them into your own approach, and through innovation, transform them into something greater than what was inherited. The high guard has been a fundamental part of boxing for generations, with each fighter adapting its use to suit their own style and strategy. Joshua Clottey, for one, was a championship caliber boxer who took the high guard to the elite heights of competition. His boxing archetype was that of a durable, defensive-minded counterpuncher. Clottey's style was built around patience and resilience. He advanced behind a tight, disciplined high guard from this fortress-like stance. Clottey capitalized on his opponent's offensive lapse, firing short, accurate counters and combinations. His high guard not only protected him, but also lured opponents into overcommitting, creating opportunities for Clottey to exploit with his precise timing and efficient offense. This blend of defense and opportunistic counterpunching defines Clottey's archetype and showcases the high guard's effectiveness at the highest levels of boxing. The foundation is crucial for maintaining any style. In Clottey's case, his iron defensive wall was the backbone that supported his entire approach. Clottey's high guard was effective because it offered comprehensive protection while maintaining offensive readiness. He kept his gloves high and tight, where his forearms were slightly open for vision, while tucking his chin deep inside, while positioning both hands high to shield the head and chin, allowing him to see and react to incoming shots. This allowed Clottey to efficiently block or deflect punches, minimizing his risk of taking clean shots. His defensive posture also allowed his elbows to tuck in, protecting the body from body shots. More importantly, his high guard kept his hands close to firing position, enabling quick transitions from defense to offense and facilitating sharp counters or combinations.
He scored that fight a draw. Thought it was an even fight.
As the fight goes on, it may affect Clottey. Right now, though, that extra weight and the strength of Clottey is making a big impact.
Goes to the body and then the head.
Right hand did snap back the head.
Its simplicity and reliability made it adaptable for different situations, whether absorbing pressure, advancing aggressively, or weathering flurries or punches.
He makes that nice kind of eye-catching move.
Well, Jazz Judah and Joshua Clottey.
30 seconds of round 4. It's scheduled for 10. Beautiful combination upstairs and downstairs.
Clottey's style was built around defense-first boxing. The high guard enabled Clottey to fluidly blend his defense with his offense, making his defensive shell a crucial foundation for launching fierce attacks.
Clottey, power punch, big boys, nice left hook.
You wonder how much longer, though, he can put up with this. With the uppercuts. Now, the uppercut is such a major weapon in this fight for Clottey.
With his guard held firm, Clottey was able to absorb the punches on his forearms and press forward, allowing him to steadily close the distance while applying unrelenting pressure. This approach forced opponents to either stay in the ground and engage, or retreat and fight off the back foot. Once Clottey worked his way into range behind his tight guard, he would set his feet and unload his punches.
Clottey really turned it around, landing those uppercuts, tremendous punches for him.
He had an incredible lead hand, as Clottey kept opponents busy with an active jab, and frequently strung together 2, 3 punch combinations off the lead.
He injured his hands over the second half.
With Clottey's stern guard, throwing combinations off the lead hand was critical, as it allowed him to dictate the tempo and close in on distance while imposing pressure with persistent aggression.
Clottey coming off a loss, but looking...
Operating just off the weak side, Clottey could break through, around, or underneath his opponent's guard, often using the lead hand combinations to set up powerful left hooks to the body.
Distance. Clottey, a precision. First and second round. Since then, these big punches by Clottey don't appear fighting as you'd like to see. Back and forth action. Clottey was very...
From the lead, He was able to properly exploit defensive gaps without overcommitting or telegraphing his intentions. This method further enabled him to transition between defense to offense without pause, maintaining balance all while recovering quickly and responding with precision.
Man, here's Clottey ripping the left hook. It's actually a triple left hook. Now 2 of the 3 land.
When it all came down to it, Clottey's mastery of the lead hand combinations enhanced both his offensive versatility and defensive security in the pocket.
Fighters with vulnerabilities. All of a sudden by Margarito, it has picked up considerably. The positions where he can land punches on the inside. Now those were kind of wild, but there's the right.
Adding on to the durable high guard, one of Clottey's greatest strengths was in his ability of controlling range. By maintaining proper distance, Clottey could operate at his preferred puncher range, which allowed him to sharpen his accuracy without needing to force his way onto the inside or waste unnecessary punches.
Corrales is throwing some great combinations. The throws of Margarito are rearing their ugly head, and maybe Rust has some. And now the crowd getting behind the underdog. A left hook.
He also incorporated distance manipulation into his high guard, adding extra layers to his defense by pulling in and out of range as needed, thus minimizing the impact of incoming shots.
It's come to fight. 2-1, Judah. Margarito sometimes takes a couple rounds to get going, and he is so dangerous as a puncher. But
his dynamic lead hand further amplified his offensive pressure, creating openings for his rear hand to follow through.
As we're starting to see in the last 2 rounds, still kind of early actually.
This diversity in his punch selection made his engagements even more difficult to read and to properly defend against. As a proficient combination puncher, Clottey pressed his attacks to the head and body, keeping opponents off balance while throttling his pressure even further.
look at this. Joshua Clottey on the inside. The one I know that was of concern to you was Juan Soberanes in 96. Because he...
By sustaining such high tempo, Clottey forced opponents to confront the limits of their endurance, either match his pace or weather a storm of blows, and fight for every inch of lost ground.
He is taking some good right hands. There's an uppercut from Clottey. Right hand again from...
It's easy to always think that if only the more...
Clottey's high guard allowed him to stay firm in a pocket, slipping through the storm of opponents' attacks while answering back with measured fire. Advancing with calculated pressure, he waded into the heart of the exchange, absorbing blows into the forearms and gloves while recovering.
Now then, Clottey got back to what he did in the first two.
Back to 96. His only loss in the last 10. Another good right hand by Clottey.
Who then returned fire.
Margarito has won 3 straight, all by knockout.
Right time to pick it up too. In the 6th round, giving him a little more pressure and moving more after.
The true danger of Clottey's guard lied in his versatility, allowing him to shift the battle from mid to close range, where he could play on his feet and get a hold of the rhythm. Once anchored, everything hinged on timing.
To see what the other person's doing.
tough.
I believe he went for a 5-mile run.
Carlos Baldomir. He's disqualified for...
When opponents overreached in their attempts to breach his defense, Clottey would lure them in, then punish their ambition with pinpoint counters.
Close to going down. Remember the old... And he better start getting on his horse. Oh, well, that's got to be a little worrisome to Margarito's corner. Daniel Santos. You know, I would understand Clottey landing these left hooks, but the right...
His high guard was a fortress built for catching and countering.
Shot was blocked. Now he goes to the body. His body shots are more successful.
Especially hitting in range or close quarters.
What should Clottey start doing?
The instant he felt the punch thud against his shell, he would explode from the guard, launching counters while his opponents stood dead in a line of fire.
Of Zab's foot, and he's get to receive them. When Zab really needs to put that right foot on the outside of Joshua Clottey.
With his guard intercepting shot after shot, opponents felt compelled to commit to combinations to somehow pierce the tight guard. But the more they threw, the more they exposed themselves. And with Clottey's counters ever looming, the threat was constant. a shadow trailing every punch.
Back to the wall. Wow. And he's
Back to the footwork again, because when Zab is trying to get away, he has to step over Clottey's foot.
There is nothing more difficult to unravel than a boxer with airtight defense. The defining feature of Clottey's high guard was in his timing and patience. While others might become passive behind their shell, Clottey remained a constant danger. His guard served as a reactive shield, always in position to strike back. He was a sharpshooter behind high walls. Clottey's balanced style enabled him to fight at any given distance, but it was his counterpunching that truly fused his defense and offense. This versatile blend created a mental snare for his opponents. The more they tried to break through, the more exposed they became to his punches.
And here's Clottey getting that counterpunch in.
In Clottey's hands, the high guard was never just a barrier. It was a weapon, as menacing in attack as it was in defense.
Corrales walked in. Corrales throws the right. His left is low. A counter right hand. For all we've said about the left hook.